One thing that we have to do pretty much daily here at the shop, or definitely daily at the shop, is re-grip golf clubs. And it's the most basic repair in all of the golf industry. I refer to it as the oil change of the golf industry. My feeling about grips at my shops here at Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach is that if we don't do a grip job really well, then why would you trust us with a better repair or a more expensive repair or some other type of repair that's more complex? So always really treat grips like they're going into my own bag or like they're going into a professional's bag. Really try to do the best job even though it's actually a really simple repair. So the first thing we do, of course, is put the club into a vise. I have a fancy little grip station here, but you can put a vise up at home and it works, basically the same. We keep grip build-up tape here. In this particular case, we're not building up these grips, so we're just going to go straight to our double-sided tape. We're going to use an amount that is basically equal to the length of the grip. I've been doing this for 26 years, so for me, figuring out the length is pretty much just rote memory, but a lot of people like to measure. We leave a little bit of the tape hanging over the butt end. Wrap it gently, try not to leave any creases or anything like that, and then we're going to tuck in that extra. And what that's going to do is protect the grip as it goes on, because if we catch the back end of the shaft, sometimes it'll hang up and won't want to go on, especially if it's a steel shaft. Now in this case, this is a graphite shaft, so no big deal. We're going to put our grip solvent onto the club, and then also in the grip itself. And I'll kind of twirl that around and get it loose in there and then pour it out over it. Some people like to shake it up back and forth. I find that that's not necessary. Get the grip all the way on and seated and clean up all the excess. And then one thing that a lot of folks may or may not do, but I like to do, of course, is double check the length with a raw grip. Make sure that it's on the correct length. If it's too short and then your next one's too long and then your next one's the right length, then the grips are all going to feel slightly different. So we want to make sure that the grip is on the exact proper length, and that's what we've done. And then of course we're going to line the grip up, make sure that our logos are straight, make sure that all of our little marks and everything are perfectly aligned. And then I'm going to set that club down. Feels great in my hand, and that's how we re-grip a golf club. Sometimes when we're replacing the grips, the tape does not come off easily, or it doesn't come off inside the old grips. Of course, we'll need to use our heat gun and remove the old tape, because we don't want to have a different size to the shaft. So if some of our shafts that we're re-gripping are bare and others have leftover tape on them, then they're not going to come out the same size. So we're going to heat up our old tape and get rid of that. If I use enough heat, I should be able to pull this off without causing too big of a mess. If I use too little heat, it's not going to come off, and if I use too much heat, the club's going to be really hot. And I could burn myself. Now it's clean, now it's ready to be re-gripped. I'll demonstrate the shaking technique that some people do with their grips this time. I don't do this normally, but some people like to make it go back and forth, kind of get all that liquid inside there. I find that just by twisting it, that usually gets enough of the liquid coated inside, and that'll all evaporate out eventually anyway. Usually takes about 45 minutes for the stuff to completely evaporate out and the grip to harden to the point where you can actually use it. So a lot of people come in and say, can you re-grip my clubs and can I play with them this week? And it's like, you can play with them in less than an hour, so not a real problem. Perfect. All right, there we go. That's how we re-grip clubs at Golf Plus.